Welcome to the Blending In podcast, where I usually chat with innovative educators who are integrating EdTech. I'm your host, Ashley Azarlu, and I'm so glad you're listening in today. Today's episode is a little bit different than usual. Normally, I have insightful conversations with teachers, but today I'm going to give you an auditory peek into my world as an EdTech integration specialist. In the last several years of my career, I have been in a season of professional growth. When I stepped out of the four walls of my classroom into the world of instructional coaching as a site-based coach, I finally had the opportunity to go and see how other teachers actually do this job, how they manage their classrooms, how they form relationships with their students, how they create student-centered learning environments, how they utilize effective instructional strategies, how they blend in technology to enhance learning and build students' digital skills, and so much more. Seeing other educators in the field live and in person was so eye-opening for me and stimulated a desire to learn more about how I could be a more effective teacher. I dove deep into professional development, which has not only helped me as an individual, but has also helped me be a better coach to new teachers entering the profession, as well as to veteran teachers who were willing to engage with me in reflective coaching cycles. I won't dive into the list of all the PD I did, but trust me when I say that in my first 2 years coaching, I had more professional development opportunities than I had in my previous 11 years as a teacher. So, at the end of my second year as a site-based coach, my district decided to do some restructuring, and my site-based coaching position was dissolved. At that time, I thought I was going back to the classroom to teach, and after mourning the loss of my coaching position, I started to get excited to be able to go back into the classroom and try out some of the things I had learned with students. But I was encouraged to apply and interview for the open EdTech TOSA position with my district. And if you're not familiar with the term TOSA, it stands for Teacher on Special Assignment. So although I didn't feel like I was as EdTech savvy as I needed to be an EdTech integration specialist, fancy title, I knew that the team that I was going to be on functioned like a family, and they would support me in the transition if I was offered the position. And I was absolutely right. My boss, Dr. David Howland, sent me to Q technology conferences and many other trainings, and he paired me up with an amazing mentor, my EdTech partner, Terry Patterson. He knew that we would be a great partnership with my ELA background matched with her math background. He knew that we were both willing to learn and grow together, and that we each had skill sets that would complement each other. Additionally, the rest of the TOSA team welcomed me with open arms, and anytime I was struggling or had a question, I was confident that the experts on this team would be able to help me out, and they did. I was also mentored by an amazing veteran ELA TOSA, Kathy Annity, that I came to view as a mother figure in my life. When Kathy retired a couple of years ago, we got a new ELA TOSA, Dr. Tina Brown. She joined our team, and I was able to support her as she gained her footing in her new role, just as others had supported me. This team of TOSAs that I have served with the last 5 years have been a dream team, coaching hundreds of new teachers entering our district as they clear their credentials, providing professional development to teachers in our system around first best instruction, classroom and behavior management, student motivation and engagement, and blended learning with district-supported EdTech tools and platforms. We also work very hard behind the scenes, developing content, scope, and sequences, producing instructional resources, and many other duties as assigned along the way to help further our district's vision into becoming a reality. But as we all know, the only thing that is certain is that change is inevitable. There were some changes in my personal life and within our district leadership over the last several months, which had unforeseen ripple effects. For one, if you've been a regular listener to the podcast, you may have noticed that unfortunately, I have not been able to produce as many episodes of this show as I did during season 1. And I'll tell you that it's not because there's a shortage of innovative educators out there to interview. I won't go into all the details, but I'll just leave it at this. I have been at full capacity, both at work and at home. And I have done the best I can to keep the podcast going this year as my time and mental energy permits. So for a while during the spring of this year, that's 2024 in case you're listening in the future, I was in sort of an abyss. The Friday before my birthday, I was notified that our district has decided once again to restructure due to budget cuts and more direct needs for human resources on our school sites. And from what I'm seeing in coaching forums online, it seems like this is happening everywhere. The COVID money is drying up and district leaders everywhere are having to make tough decisions. I absolutely do not envy anyone that has to make those calls, knowing that the livelihood of amazing humans and their families will be impacted. So what has been the impact for me with all of this restructuring talk? Well, once again, I found myself grieving the loss of a fulfilling job role and a dream team that I've truly come to love like a family. But the good news for me is that unlike many people in similar situations elsewhere, I still have a job with my district. Because I have tenure, I was provided a list of classroom vacancies, and I was able to choose a secondary ELA classroom in my district to return to. I chose a position at our continuation high school where I'll be able to help kids with credit recovery. So the excitement I started to feel 5 years ago when my site-based position was dissolved, it's returning once again. Knowing I'm going back to teaching teenagers again has actually brought me a bit of peace through the chaos of the recent changes. Getting to connect with kids, teach a content I'm passionate about, and put into practice so many things I have learned the last several years brings me joy. I have never taught high school or at a continuation school or the particular curriculum of this ELA course. So in some ways, I feel like a first-year teacher all over again. With all that said, I'm not sure when or if I'll be recording a season 3 of this podcast. I already know that with going back to teaching and continuing to serve as a coach and mentor to others, that there's a slim possibility that I'll have the capacity to produce this show. But who knows? If I have the time, space, and support to continue this passion project, then I would absolutely love to produce another season. Only time will tell. If you made it this far into the final episodes of season 2, I want to thank you so much for listening to Blending In and for your support of my journey into podcasting the last 2 years. Please continue to follow and share the podcast. And if or when I have an update on what's to come, I'll be sure to post a special bonus episode. Until then, don't hesitate to innovate and